Just two dudes having a conversation. You're my friend and I trust you.
Welcome to the podcast.
That's what this is. That's what you're listening to right now.
It's been a little bit.
It's been, how long has it been? Because it's
like 2 weeks.
Feels like longer.
It feels really long, but I think it's only been 2 weeks.
I'm going to turn my cans up a little bit.
Get them cans up in your head.
Check, check. Ooh, that's better.
Better?
That's better, yeah.
Cool.
Is it turning you up as well?
No.
Okay. That's how fancy we are here. We got our own separate can channels.
Much better than last episode that we recorded. Kind of ghetto.
Yeah. Which it turned out fine. The audio was fine.
Yeah, it sounded pretty good.
Yeah.
Which is actually nice to know for later on.
We can take that on the road if we have a road trip.
Exactly.
Is that what you were thinking too?
Yeah.
Yep.
Plug them in.
Totally.
Our wives and future wife.
Yeah.
Well, my wife, your future wife.
My future wife.
Will kill us, but.
Well, who said that they're on this trip with us?
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
Good point.
Just saying, maybe it's a bro trip. Do you think we would ever do that? Being like, once I'm married, do you think we would ever go on like a bro vacation?
I don't know. I mean, I'm down.
The only way I can see it happening is if one of us gets divorced and then the other one's like, you need just some time away and I'm going to take you on a trip.
I gotcha. Do you plan on getting divorced?
No, not anytime soon. I can't yet.
True. You got to get married first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, you recently took our engagement photos.
I did.
Those turned out super great, man.
Awesome.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
I was excited to be able to do it. And it was really fun. Like, my wife went with me.
My wife.
My wife went with us, I guess.
Yeah.
And it was super helpful, like, having her there. Because, like, one, she's got, like, all girls have a Pinterest board of like different things that they've seen. And so having different ideas for poses and whatnot. And like, Emily had sent me some that I saved in my phone, which we did some of them, but just having her there was also super helpful.
Yeah.
And on our way home, well, no, because you guys were at home with us.
Yeah.
At some point that night we were talking about how like that would be ideal for us to do full time.
Yeah.
Like, just shooting stuff.
Well, Emily and I were saying on our way home separately when we were outside of the car with you guys, when we were in our own vehicle traveling home, that you guys work super well as a team because we feel like you have the eye for it, but you're less of a people person. And Allie is more of a people person than you are and is like you're good at suggesting poses, but Allie's good at like she came up and adjusted Emily's hair and did stuff like that where I feel like you wouldn't have done something like that.
I wouldn't even thought about adjusting the hair.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Yeah. But you guys worked really well together. It was really nice. We've done one other shoot with you guys. We did just a random shoot.
Yeah.
I think just because you guys wanted to get some shots or Emily wanted some shots or somebody wanted some shots. So we met up in a park and it turned out really well. I really love those photos.
Especially for the time of year. It was like
cold. It was freezing.
Was it winter or was it fall? Late fall?
I think it was winter.
Was it?
I believe so. But there was no snow.
Yeah. So, but like it was all brown.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was fun. I remember being super cold. But yeah. So listeners, peep my Instagram page. My Friend Media, spinoff of this show. So
yeah. Awesome. I saw like too that you've been out and about now that you have weekends.
And I have been.
Like I think these past 2 weekends you've been up in Clevelandish area.
Yeah, we went back to last weekend. We went back to the same park that Castle was at that we took your photos at. Yeah. Looking for the waterfall.
Ah, yeah.
That we saw the sign for.
Did you find it?
Well, here's the thing. It's called Buttermilk Falls, and apparently there's 2 areas.
Okay.
Well, one in Chagrin, which is where we were at.
One butter and one milk.
Yeah. That it was less than impressive. Like literally it was just like kind of came over a sharp hill, like a sharp hill, but I mean, there was no fall. It was just like downhill.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so we're like, man, like, because I know we saw photos on Instagram of people tagging the place, and it did not look like what we saw.
Yeah.
And so I was looking up further online, and here Buttermilk Falls is also in the Cuyahoga Valley National Forest, which is about 20 minutes south of there. Luckily, it was just on the way home. So then we went back that way. Didn't actually go to Buttermilk Falls. We found a different falls.
Okay.
And went to that one. But yeah, it's been fun just kind of getting out and about. And the Cleveland Metro Parks is kind of the organization that has these different parks around Cleveland.
Right.
Where we went to get your engagement photos done was a Metro Park. But there's one up near Norton, which is about 10 minutes from our house, and called Silver Creek, and that's where we've been going last night and a couple nights before that. But it was pretty sweet. I've never seen an owl in the wild.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And we were walking through the trail, and one of it goes through like a big pine section, which is really cool looking.
Yeah.
And Alan was just like, oh, look, there's an owl. I didn't even see it. I was like, where? And she was like pointing at it. And sure enough, it was just chilling there. And then once you like saw the eyes, then
your brain put the rest together for you.
Exactly.
Because they blend in really well.
They do. And like I was trying to get a little bit closer to get a picture of it, and it took off and flew. The wingspan on that thing was
dude.
Amazing.
They're much bigger than what you think they'd be. Eagles too.
Yeah.
I saw an eagle recently, and that's like the second time I've ever seen an eagle in the wild.
Yeah.
And it flew like kind of close. It was flying around my house. And it's like, holy cow, the wingspan on those things is ridiculous.
A few years ago, I think I've talked a little bit about it on the podcast. We went on a canoe trip up in Michigan, and I forget the name of the river, but it was supposed to last 5 days. We ended up doing it in 4, but you're going through and you don't see houses for like 2 days. It's pretty sweet. And we were coming around a corner, and me and my brother were in a canoe. My dad and my uncle were in another one. They were further back from us, but me and my brother came around a corner, and I kid you not, a bald eagle came like over top of our heads, it was probably 15 or 20 feet above our heads.
Damn.
But dive bombed and grabbed a fish out of the river.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, and like took it up and back into its nest. But that was the coolest thing I've probably ever seen in my life.
That's so crazy how they can do that, how they can see into the water.
Yeah.
Because like if we look into the water, it's just, especially if the sun's out,
right,
it's just like reflecting and we can't see anything.
So do you think their eyes have like the polarizing?
Like the UV lenses? I don't know. Maybe. I have no idea. Maybe they, Carol, let us know. How do eagles see? Do they have like infrared that they can see into the water and see the fish? Also, how do they know like the height of the fish, like beneath the surface of the water, that like, oh, that fish is high enough that I can grab it?
Right. Because it's not like they actually go all the way in.
Right.
Like they just
dip their feet in there.
Grab them with the talons.
Yeah.
Which is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But yeah. That was the coolest I've seen wildlife wise.
Yeah.
I think in my life.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love nature stuff.
Oh, it's so cool.
I like hunting, not because I love killing animals, but because
do it for sport.
I do it for sport, you know.
Purely sport.
Animals, people, doesn't matter. But just
this island.
They canceled. This is a complete sidebar. Do you see that movie? There was a movie called The Hunt that was about humans hunting humans, like for sport, like rich people hunting poor people, and they canceled it because of all the recent mass shootings.
Yeah, I did see that.
Crazy.
Which, by the way, sorry, kind of go a little bit into that vein.
Sure, go for it. No, go for it. Go for it.
The whole, have you been keeping up with the whole, what's his name? Jeffrey Epstein or whatever his name is?
Yeah, that's getting crazy, dude.
Right? So, backstory real quick, if you've been under a rock. Was his name Jerry? It's something Epstein. I think it's Jerry.
Yeah, I think it's Jerry.
We're just going to go with Jerry.
Carol, what's his name?
Yeah.
Carol is our fact checker if you're new to the podcast.
He's a multi-billionaire. Been known in circles with like Donald Trump, the Clintons, a lot of politicians, very high-profile people.
He's a powerful guy.
Yeah.
Was a powerful guy.
Got busted in sex trafficking. Was there child prostitution or something. I'm not exactly sure what all he did.
I'm not 100% on it. I know it was like a couple women had come forward with allegations of sexual assault.
Well, and then wasn't the FBI doing a whole investigation on him?
Yeah.
And there was something to do with children.
Right. I think what sparked it, though, was those women coming forward with allegations.
Okay. So.
And then more have surfaced since.
Yeah. And like, I've read theories about like a child sex island that he would invite like all of his friends to. So anyway, dude's had to have had a lot of secrets.
Mm-hmm.
He got arrested. He's been in jail, been on suicide watch in maximum security. Suddenly, what was it, Saturday or a couple days ago?
Yeah.
A couple days ago, found dead in his jail cell.
Right. They said he hung himself.
Yeah. Which, if you want to connect all the conspiracy theories with like the people connected to the Clintons in particular, and I mean, really anybody, but the Clintons are kind of known for this, I think, of different bodyguards suddenly killing themselves or people with information maybe.
Right.
I don't know. It's been crazy. And then I saw today the autopsy report came out saying that he had broken bones in his neck, which are sometimes found in hangings, but more commonly found strangulations, homicide.
Here's another crazy side bit. One of the security guards that was on his watch was not supposed to be there.
Really?
Like it wasn't one of the normal guys. It was a different guy.
And I did see where they didn't have any cameras on.
Yeah.
Of course.
There was a malfunction in their camera system right at that time.
It's just frustrating. Like, I mean, if it is a big conspiracy where people in high profile, like say the president or the Clintons, somebody basically took him out, it's frustrating for the victims because they will never get justice now.
Right.
It was an easy way out for him. And then all of those people who may have done something. Right.
That's the main thing I saw was or the main perspective that I was looking into was from the victims just saying like, we'll never get justice. Also, what else could that have led to? Like that could have led to other people because he was in, like you said, in circles with people, and there are definite suspects of like this could be going on here as well with these people that he was frequent with. And at this point, we may never know.
Yeah. It's so frustrating. Right. People with power and money. I mean, the whole concept is just kind of mind-boggling in that, again, if the theories are true, where he was taken out, if you want to call that like, one, the value for human life is so little that your friend, which they, let's say they were friends, but this Jeffrey guy had dirt on whoever, that instead of one, just being a good person, but instead of getting found out, I'm going to kill you.
Right. What was that phrase? Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So when you get to like a certain status where you're controlling and you're in charge and you're a certain amount of powerful, I don't think we're made to handle that sort of what I want to say, power, I guess. Like that sort of standing within society. I don't think as people we're made to do that. I know if I were suddenly thrust into that sort of situation, I would not handle myself well.
No.
Like I want to say I'd make good decisions and all that, but I just don't think like mentally that I could handle it,
Yeah, for sure.
But I haven't watched it yet, but there's a documentary on Netflix that just came out called The Family.
I've been hearing about this.
I really want to, we should both watch it and then come back and talk about it because it is kind of related to what we're talking about with people like so high up and rich and powerful that are controlling things. This is all kind of centered around a group of like a club within, like there's presidents, mainly it's political people, but super rich people, and they're part of a club, and there's one guy that was kind of the head of this club that worked at the White House that was a high influencer within the White House, like directly to the president, and nobody knew of him. like obviously the people within the circle, this thing called the family, they knew him and they well respected him. And just from the preview I watched of the documentary, you see like these presidents and higher up people like accepting awards or giving speeches, and they always thank this guy.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like I've been saying forever. There is
shadow government.
Shadow government. There's stuff going on that we don't know about. Yeah. There's people in control that we have no idea who they are, but they're through wealth and through influence, they are affecting outcomes of certain things. Because money buys everything. Money talks, man.
Yeah. Won't argue with that.
Yeah. And I think many people are easily corruptible.
Oh, for sure.
You put a dollar amount in front of somebody and there's not a lot that they won't do, sadly. I want to say like my morals are founded enough and strong enough that there is no dollar amount that would make me do certain things. But I mean, I would definitely draw the line somewhere, but I would definitely muddle it for a certain dollar amount.
Yeah.
No question.
I think that's part of being human.
Yeah. Man.
So, Pepper Mood here. You're my friend and I trust you.
To sway the conversation a little bit, my birthday was this past June, and it's now like the middle of August. I got these a while ago, and I kept forgetting to bring them up. But for my birthday, my soon-to-be mother-in-law, Lori, got me a 23andMe.
Nice. You got the results?
I got the results. I got them like a while ago. So I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, but I say it a lot in real life that I'm Italian. I'm not as Italian as I thought.
Really?
Which I knew.
Yeah.
Because my dad's mom is European.
Okay.
And like the entirety of my mom's side of the family is European. So I knew that I was probably more Irish than anything else, which is fine.
Yeah.
Now I can celebrate St. Patty's Day. But I am not near as Italian as I thought I was. So I'm going to go back. Sorry. I should have printed all this stuff off like you did to make it more easy to navigate, but I don't know where to go. Okay. So I am 47.6 British and Irish, 15% French and German, and 14.5% Italian.
Wow.
So not near as Italian as I thought I was.
Yeah.
But it was crazy. Like we know like where like my dad's side of the family is the Italian side. We know what village they came from in Italy. It's called Collepietro. And 23andMe nailed it.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Like it was like you zoomed in because you can see like what part of the continent you're from. You can zoom in right on it and it was dead on Collepietro, which is crazy how they can do that.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
A little creepy. But.
Yeah. I don't know how they're doing it, but also when I signed up for this, they asked me, it was voluntary. They were like, hey, can we use your DNA for genetic research? Can we use your DNA for this and this? And it all like none of it pertained to me and like this stuff. I said yes to everything because I didn't care. I was like, yeah, sure. Go for it. We're screwed already.
Right.
They can do whatever they want. The shadow government, you know. But let's see. Little bit of Scandinavian in there too, which I think you were from Scandinavia as well, a little bit, weren't you?
Was I?
I believe so. Do you still have your results around here somewhere?
I can get them really quick.
Okay.
I do want to take the 23andMe one just to compare.
Yeah.
Like if it comes up the same.
Sure. Yeah.
Because you don't know. I mean, this is the only one I've ever done. So.
Right. This one, it wasn't, I feel, as detailed as yours, but you can pay to get it a little bit more detailed.
That's what I have a lot of things I can pay for too.
Right. Mine, there's like a health report that comes with mine as well. And like what I might be prone to. And
you have to pay for that? Or?
Yeah, you had to pay for that. It also says that my relatives are 76% less likely to drink instant coffee. So I don't know.
So you're snobs.
Yeah. Well, we're Italian, so.
True.
But also Irish.
Mine was 74% England, Wales, and Northwestern Europe.
Mm.
So England, Scotland, Wales. So the Romans, Vikings, and Normans. And then Germanic Europe was 13. And then Norway was 7. Ireland and Scotland was 4. 2% Sweden. So I'm a little bit of a mutt.
Yeah. You're just kind of from everywhere, which I am too.
Does it say like where your people like immigrated to?
No, it did not. Which I was bummed because yours did. Yeah. Mine did not. But I know that at least on my dad's side, we came right to Worcester.
Really?
Yeah. My great-great-grandpa came on the boat from Italy, got established, had got married beforehand, got established, and then wrote home and said, "Send me my wife." And they shipped her over on the boat.
Boxed her up.
Sent her to America. Yeah.
Huh. That's cool, though.
Yeah. It says my maternal haplogroup. I don't know what that is.
Mom?
Yeah, I guess. How'd you know that?
Maternal.
Oh. And then paternal would be father? Mm-hmm. Okay, gotcha. I don't know what haplogroup means.
I don't either.
Carol? You got some homework today, Carol. Your haplogroup shared with King Richard III. Traces the long line of women in your family tree. And my paternal haplogroup, what do you and Thomas Jefferson have in common? An ancient common ancestor on your paternal side.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Does it show you...
I'm of royalty.
You gonna knight yourself?
Can I do that?
Donnie? Does it show you like connections with other people who have done the test?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I got to set all that up though.
Oh, okay.
But I should probably do that because it says 1,197 relatives and 2 close relatives. So I'm wondering who those close relatives are because I might know them.
Yeah. Be crazy if you didn't.
Right.
Like people who have legitimately found like siblings.
Right.
That they had no idea existed.
Turns out Emily is my sibling.
Oh, how bummed would you be?
Well, she wouldn't be my sibling, but maybe like first cousin.
Too close of a cousin?
Yeah, too close of a cousin.
like what do you do?
At this point, I'm just like, whatever, we're going for it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't care.
Do you have kids? Because that could be dangerous.
I think we should do some testing.
Yeah.
Like, I think we're morally obligated to maybe go through some tests to see.
If you marry your first cousin.
Right.
Can you do that legally in Ohio?
I don't know, man.
I feel like that's not legal in Ohio.
I don't think
but then again, how do they really know?
Didn't Woody Allen do that, though? He's a bit of a weirdo, but...
Yeah, I mean, I know the laws have changed over time. And
right.
again, different states are different, but... Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe something to look into. Or maybe not. I don't know if I want that in my search history.
Start Googling it.
Can you marry your first cousin?
Start throwing up all sorts of red flags.
The FBI agent watching me.
Right. Oh, we got a creep.
Yeah, it was interesting, though, to learn where I came from.
Yeah.
Because I knew it wasn't as much Italian as I thought it was. And it was a bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
Because I've just been my whole life saying, I'm Italian. But...
British. Is that what was yours?
Just British. European.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, which is fine.
Yeah. Because,
I mean, really, I'm an American. I'm not. I'm an Italian, or I'm American before I'm anything else.
I'm Viking, so
I'd hold on to that too. What have you been up to in these weeks that I haven't seen you besides photography?
Photography, working. I played worship. I didn't lead last weekend. I did lead one song. But,
yeah.
So that's kind of wrapping up. I got next weekend is the last weekend.
It's the big service at the local football stadium.
Yeah. Which
that'll be fun.
Yeah, it sounds cool and all, but it's so much work for an hour.
Right.
Like so much work.
Right.
Although significantly less work now that I'm not full time.
Right.
Right. So, but still, I mean, it is a large ordeal for I don't know what the payoff is, but
right.
But anywho,
do you get a larger turnout to those?
Yeah, yes and no. What normally happens is, yes, larger in the one service, but overall about the same, or maybe a little bit more, because we do have people from like the schools and community that come to that, but a lot of the people who go to the church don't want to come to that, and so they go somewhere else, and so it's kind of a lot. I don't know.
I won't be there.
Yeah,
I'm actually drumming at our old church.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Which I was kind of nervous because I was practicing today and we're doing 2 songs that I don't know. And I've gotten so spoiled drumming for our church, OCC, because we have a click track, and the click track will be going and it'll be like verse 2, 3, 4, and then you're in the verse. So it tells you where you are in the song, and I get so spoiled with that.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you have that, you don't need to remember anything. Nope. You just need to remember, like, okay, this is the beat that I do here.
And even to the point where, like, since the drummer, you run the computer for that, you can look over and see waveforms of the dynamics of the song.
Well, like each, like the verse will be purple, the chorus will be yellow. So I can see, like, okay, we're coming up on a chorus here. Got to get ready to fill into the chorus. Yep. So I've gotten so spoiled. It's made me a worse musician. Yeah. Like I may be tighter as a drummer after being at OCC for so long, but definitely like if you throw me in like a, hey, we're just going to play this song, no click or anything. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like when am I going into the verse? When's the chorus?
Yeah.
I'm a little baby now. But luckily they have been playing to a click, and they have cues too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, good for them.
Yeah.
So I'm leading there in October.
Oh, really? You want me to drum for you?
Probably, if you want to.
Yeah, have me drum for you.
Yeah, a little reunion.
Yeah. That'd be great, actually.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's like, I think the second weekend in October or something.
I'm there.
Oh, my dad's gone, and Jeremiah's preaching 2 weeks in a row. So he's like, can you lead?
Gotcha.
Sure.
Nice.
So,
well, cool. That'll be fun.
Yeah. That'll be weird. I think that'll be weird.
Leading there?
You and me.
Oh, you and me both there?
Yeah, because it's been so long.
Well, I'll have gone back now twice. True. I played like a month ago. The
last time I played there, I led in fall of 2014.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's like 5 years ago. Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but it'll be good. I mean, especially at that point, like, Allie and I have been going to a different church, like on the weekends that we are here and not at OCC and free or whatever. And so 2 weekends ago, we were there, and it was, did I text you? No, I was texting Corey about this. I don't remember what the sermon was about. It was good, but it was coming out of the sermon, they sang resurrecting. And it's a bigger church, and so like it's louder worship or whatever. It's nice. But throughout the middle of that, just like it hit me, and I started getting choked up, like I couldn't sing, about how a lot of things that through my head, but one, like it's gonna take me time to basically strip down the business side of church that I'm so accustomed to now, to where like it's hard for me to sit through a service.
Yeah.
And it kind of hit me like of the, I guess, unhealthy side of where I was at. Like I was blind to it until these last few, like really last month. It's really hit me that like, or I wasn't like just faith wise was not in a good spot because it was a job.
Right.
And it what like, not worship's not about like feeling, but I hadn't felt anything in a while.
Right.
Because when I was leading worship, I was focused on everything else. And that became church for me, if that makes sense.
Right.
And so like singing that, the resurrected King is resurrecting me, like it was refreshing, but then also just knowing that something I've done for the past 5.5 years leading worship. Like, I'm not going to lead regularly anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And even like, if we do go to a new church or whatever, like it's not going to be the same, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it just kind of, the realness of it hit me that weekend.
Yeah.
And it was good though. Like it was a good, like, it was almost one of those things that I was, even though like I was getting emotional, it's like a sign, like it's when you become numb that you have a problem and you don't feel any emotion, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It's not when you're emotional necessarily.
Right.
And so like that was a good sign for me.
Good.
That like, I don't know, it's still there.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Right. That's some heavy stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, like I knew that it had become a job for sure. I didn't realize the depth of that.
I didn't either, I don't think.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't enjoying it, but I think that was what was the root of it.
Right.
It was just, it became something so much different than what it really is.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I would guess, if I had to guess what you were going to do, that you would not be wanting to continue to have OCC as your main church, as your home church at this point.
Yeah, I don't know.
I would not.
Yeah. I honestly don't think I should.
Right. I think that's a valid statement as well.
Like, aside from whether I would want to or not.
I just think you're too connected to it.
And I think all those kind of thoughts that I've just talked about are connected there.
Right.
And so I think for me and really probably Allie too, like we need to do something else for,
right.
Right.
Just from my perspective, if I was in your shoes, I don't think that I could sit through a service and not be thinking about everything that's going on to like make that service happen.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be present for the message at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be thinking about like all the tech stuff and all the like behind the scenes sort of stuff that went along with your job. I wouldn't be able to.
Well, that's what especially the past couple of years, like on staff at the church, I could not sit in a service.
Yeah.
Which is bad. I should be, but I couldn't go in and just sit there and tune in to the message because I'm looking at the slides and something doesn't look right. And then I'm thinking about who's up in the sound room.
Right.
Should I go up there or not? And then
right.
His mic sounds weird or, all these little things that really no one would think about.
Right. And I think which really shouldn't have been your job anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, that role was way more than just a worship leader. You were the worship leader and you were also the head of AV, which that's typically split. But I guess at a church of that size.
Well, yeah, that's what's hard.
Yeah.
And, we did have really, really great volunteers.
Yeah, for sure.
But, volunteer, you can only expect so much from a volunteer. Like very baseline troubleshooting. And then if it's still wrong, then what do they do?
Right.
So yeah, it'll be good to kind of move past that. And I think like I've said this a couple of times to different people, I'm not totally shutting that out from the future if that's what comes up again. But knowing one, it would depend on the church situation of who they are and whatnot.
Right.
But then also just like having the experience from where I came from. And now that it's almost like a fog that I was in a little bit, if that makes sense. And now like I'm kind of getting out of that. Like I was telling Allie, I sleep so much better now. Like so I was probably sleeping on the couch 3 nights a week before I changed jobs.
Man.
And I didn't know why. It was super frustrating. I would finally fall asleep maybe 3 o'clock and be up at 6.
Man.
But I mean, I fall asleep probably 9:45 now, if that. Like I struggle to stay awake, and then I am out until the morning.
Yeah.
I want to do stuff.
Yeah.
Like you were talking about, like we've been going to different parks and whatnot. Like
yeah.
Before I get home, like I had a way less physical job, but I get home and I was just tired. Like, I just didn't want to do anything. And the only thing that has changed has been my job. Yeah. Which is amazing to me. Yeah. That's what I was talking to one of the guys I work with today, and he's a super nice guy, but he was saying how, people here, he's like, you'll hear him complaining about stuff. He's like, but really? He's like, this is an easy place to work. He was like, we have it good. Like, it's just a job. He's like, this isn't our lives. Right. Like we do other stuff. And he's like, you come here for 8 hours a day and you go home. And then what you do at home is your life. Right. And that's kind of the mindset that I've been in. It's just like, I mean, sure, you're going to get frustrated, whatever you do, but it's not like it's nothing. You know? Like I still get to go home, hang out with my wife, go to the park if I want to. Like, I can do whatever I want. And this is just what kind of pays my bills right now. Right. So
I think, because I think you had mentioned before on the podcast, and if not, we'll edit it out. But I think you told me that you took a little bit of a pay cut going to this job. But for me, looking at you now and your quality of life now, I would say totally worth it. Oh, absolutely. Completely worth it.
Yeah, and that is true. It was pay cut and like lost some flexibility with my schedule, kind of. But again, now it lines up almost identical to Allie's. Our vacation time is going to be the same next year. And like, nice. So yeah, I mean, we've kind of changed our budget a little bit and made it work. And we decided that it was way worth maybe cutting a few things from what we do, but to just be happier and less stressed. So yeah.
I couldn't be happier for you.
I appreciate that.
I'm really stoked for you.
Yeah. And too, I mean, like I said on the podcast before, like I've gotten to dive in more to like the photography side, which is what I really want to start building up. Right. Where before, like I said, I get home and I just didn't have the mental capacity. Right. Which I might not have done anything that day at work, but like, I just like, I don't want to,
That's like how it was when I was working thirds, because I was just so exhausted all the time. And I sat at a saw all day. Like my job, again, not hard at all. Like anything heavy that I needed to move, I just grabbed a tow motor and picked it up and moved it. So I was sitting down most of the night, but that's a problem. I was working at night. And then I would get home and have no energy to do anything. And if I sat down on the couch, I would be asleep. Yeah. Like I would just fall right asleep. Yeah. And then I would transition from the couch. Like maybe I'd take a shower. I would take a shower because I'd be covered in sawdust, but go take a shower and then go to bed and then not sleep well. Yeah. Wake up after, like I would be exhausted, fall asleep, get maybe 3 or 4 hours, and then wake up just fully awake and not be able to fall back to sleep. Yeah. It was horrible.
It's crazy how much just like a change in work, the culture that you're in at work, will change your life. Right. And I'm not like knocking church work. Like I said, it all depends on the person and the culture that you're working in. But just it was time for the end of that season, and now we're almost into our new. That's why I keep telling her, I was like, we still don't even really know what our new normal is going to be, right? Because I've had commitments still at OCC, right? And they had asked about me staying through, like after what I had originally agreed to, and I think I had talked to you about it, and just like I feel for the team, but at some point I have to say no. Yeah, and now was the point, and
yeah. In the meantime, my fiance Emily is leading, and then her friend Anna just signed on to kind of transition in as a part-time worship leader till we find somebody full-time. But they were also asking Emily, like, hey, what can you kind of commit to here? Like trying to shake the tree and see how much like if she could sign on to something, if she would want to do something more full time. And she's like, honestly, I don't know where I'm going to be in a month.
Right.
So she's doing what she can now to help him, but like we don't know where where we'll end up.
Right.
I guess.
Which is kind of a crazy season for you guys.
Yeah. We just got done getting all the invitations ready. Like all the addresses that you got to get from everybody and on the envelopes.
How many?
Not many. I think like 80 something.
Good for you guys.
Yeah, we really hacked it down. But along with those 80s, there's like plus ones and stuff. So it'll probably be more like 200 total, maybe. I don't know if everybody brings a plus one.
So that's, 80 invitations.
Yeah, 80 invitations.
But that might be like a family?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like there's a family, like a couple families of 5 or more.
Okay. So are you planning on, what number are you planning on?
I think it's 200 is the number.
Okay.
Or 250. Yeah, which is a lot.
Bigger,
but yeah. But I mean, even that, like we're sending out 80 invitations, but expecting that many. It's just a ton of people. And I felt really bad, like not inviting some people because it's like, well, like they were tight at one point or their family, but they're kind of distant family. And I know that like I'll see them at some point and there might be some hard feelings, but like I don't really talk to them other than these select times throughout the year.
Did you find yourself being like, well, since we invited this person, they're kind of in that level of...
Yep, got to invite this person too. Yep.
That's what got us.
Yeah.
It was like... And honestly, working at a church...
Had to invite me because...
Working at a church, it was like, well, I have to invite the staff, then I have to invite the elders.
Right.
And like...
Yep. Yeah. With Emily being on the worship team, it's like, well, we can't just invite certain people from the worship team.
Right. Which I think I did, so...
Yeah. I don't know what she ended up doing.
Yeah.
But I know that was part of the discussion at one point.
So listeners, open invitation to Donnie's wedding. It's going to be at
this time, this date, it's BYOB.
Brian in Ireland. We expect you there.
Brian, come on down. Shout out to our other listener, Brian, a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
He just came into town and we kind of reconnected.
Nice.
And it was crazy because I hadn't talked to him in probably 2 years, but it was one of those things where you kind of just pick up right where you left off. And we were actually in a band in high school, like middle school, high school. So we had been around each other a lot. We played baseball together. And while he was here this time, we went and we got a beer and we were sitting down and talking. And I just mentioned something about my social anxiety. And then he opened up and he too has social anxiety. I had no idea. And we talked about that for like a good probably hour and a half.
Nice.
And just to connect on that level about something that I didn't know that he was struggling with as well was really crazy after not seeing him for like 2 years.
It's crazy. It's funny how our lives have so many parallels at the same time.
Yeah.
Because you were just talking about how you had your friend who you were in a band with at one point.
Oh, yeah.
So
you had a similar situation.
Yeah. Just last Friday night, my wife and I hosted my buddy and his wife, who he was in a band with me in high school and some college. And we had since kind of lost touch a little bit. Like, we were followed each other on like Facebook and stuff, but nothing significant. And he had posted a while back, earlier in the summer, that he was going on tour. His first tour, just a solo acoustic tour. And he was going to be playing in Canton and wanted to know if anybody in Canton would let he and his wife crash. I was like, we're kind of close to Canton. And so, yeah, he came. We didn't get to spend a whole lot of time because like he played from like 8 to 10 in Canton. And they got here at 11 and then they had to leave at 4
in the morning
to get to New York City.
Oof.
Yeah. And so like I just talked to him a little bit when he got here, but it was kind of one of those things like, yeah, you just kind of picked up a little bit where you left off. Like I felt super comfortable talking to him.
Right.
He was also worship leader at one point and ended up leaving his church. And so like he's kind of on that journey a little bit. His wife's from Ireland.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So like
that's
listening
cool.
to her talk was awesome.
I love the Irish accent.
Yeah. And But yeah, it was one of those like, yeah, like you almost forget like in your head, you paint a different picture of who they were than what they really were.
Right.
Almost. Like,
right.
Not that it was anything bad, but I was like, oh yeah, like we really enjoy talking to each other. And like,
Right.
you almost forget that over the years.
Also, people change as well.
Oh, for sure.
Like the amount of growing that you've done as a person over the past couple of years since you've seen him is insane, most likely.
Yeah.
And then him as well.
Right.
Like you're still the same people, but you're
Totally
very much different.
Yeah.
And it's nice too when two people that you've been friends and you separate and then you each do individual growing and then you get back together and you find that, oh, we've kind of grown in the same ways and we can connect.
Which is kind of what we did. And we've talked about it before plenty. But
yeah,
like those year or two or however long you're in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, 2 years.
So yeah, I mean, listeners, you should check out his music. Justin Denny, Duenne.
Is it Justin Denny and the something?
Yeah, I think on Spotify it's Justin Denny and the Midnight.
Okay. Yeah.
So check him out. He is releasing an album in November.
Awesome.
Just released a single. Should have asked if we could play it on the podcast.
Oh shoot! You should email him or something and get it.
Yeah, because it's pretty solid. I think like you always have to draw your own conclusions about what songs are about, but I think it's kind of a little bit about what he's kind of that journey he's on right now.
Gotcha.
But yeah, check him out. Justin Denny and the Midnight.
Justin Denny and the Midnight. That's a cool name.
Formerly of 138, which you might have to bleep because they got sued for that.
Oh, I think we can talk about that.
Just kidding.
You were in a band that was named 138, and then who sued you because it was their name as well?
So
it was a Christian organization, wasn't it?
So in high school, it was me, Justin, the girl I was dating, Steph, and a guy named Dan played drums.
Is Steph the one that stole your Speedy Rewards points?
No, that was Kelly in college.
I'll never remember who did. I just think it's so funny.
Oh, I was so mad. Took all of my points. Got it in the breakup.
Post breakup.
Yeah. That's why you never do integrated things before you get married.
Oh, shoot.
I mean, engaged is...
Okay, all right. We just got a joint savings account.
Okay,
so
yeah.
It was actually funny. I don't know if I said it on the podcast. Sorry, quick sidebar. We were walking out of the bank. We had just signed up for our joint savings account. And I was like, man, it's going to be really hard to break up now.
Right? Exactly. So the band.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yep, 138.
138. So ONE 38
yeah.
was our band based off of Psalm 138. We basically, Justin was very musical in high school, very musical now, but wanted to start a band. My girlfriend sang a little bit, and I didn't do anything. But I was like, asked for a bass for Christmas. And so they gave me a bass. And
that's crazy because I was in a band in high school too, and I didn't play drums at the time.
Yeah.
It was like me and 3 friends were like, hey, let's start a band. And I just happened to have a t-shirt on with a picture of a drum set. I looked down and was like, I'll drum. And then I got a drum set like a couple months later.
Now I'm a drummer. It's funny how our lives parallel. Like I got it because like that's what they needed.
We're the same person.
I play bass. So Justin, I put a roll of or a piece of masking tape on the neck and numbered the frets.
Oh, nice.
So that way I could see them, and he just basically wrote out tabs for me. And that's how I learned.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so then we added a friend named Dan to play drums, but we kind of formed, I think it was to play like this benefit concert at our church that was my uncle put on.
Mm-hmm.
And so we did that. It was our first show. We were awful. I was awful anyway. I was so scared. I was like staring at the floor,
yeah, not moving.
Yeah. But so anyway, we were probably played together a few years. We opened up for 21 Pilots.
Oh, man.
Which I forgot about until BJ.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we were at lunch when he came up and visited, and he was like, yeah, you listen to the 21 Pilots album? I was like, I'll listen to some of it. He was like, yeah. So it's the guy who opened for him. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, you opened for 21 Pilots. I was like, I totally forgot about that. He's like, I would have been like using that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm famous via that.
Right? We also opened up for Aaron Gillespie.
We're good friends.
Yeah. Anyway, so we did a lot, recorded an EP, And then throughout the years, the lineup changed a little bit. Me, Dan, and Justin were the three that kind of stayed until I left college and decided to move back home. I left the band. And literally like a month later, they added a new bass player. I think this is all from the outside looking in. I haven't really talked to anybody about it, but they got sued by 138 Ministries, which is like on the border of Mexico, but they do a lot of like Spanish related ministries. Yeah. And they sued them for a trademark infringement, and like they had to pay back like a percentage of what they made. And
wow.
Yeah, apparently it was not very good. So they had to change the name.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So Christians suing Christians. Couldn't have been like, hey, do you mind changing that?
Also, how did they find out about it? Because were you guys big at all?
Not really. I mean, we did open for 21 Pilots. No, I don't know.
They must have like done a search or something. And
yeah,
man, I just want to know what what that process was like for them. Like they Google searched themselves, saw you guys, and then eventually that just got brought up the food chain of their company until like the CEO or whoever was running it saw it. And then there was like a board decision about like, what do we need to do? And the decision was to sue your old band.
These like late high school, some college age kids.
We got to take them down.
Right. Yeah. But it was funny. Like I felt bad that apparently, and this was all secondhand, the new bass player was named in the lawsuit, but I was not. So
that's probably good.
What
good
they
for
said.
you.
I don't remember who told me that. That could all be wrong. But somebody told me that.
Man.
So I'm reporting it as fact.
Yeah.
But I do miss playing in a band.
Me too. We played that one coffee shop that one time. That was a blast.
That was. I've been actually
that.
like.
We should do that again.
Been wanting to do that again.
We should.
I don't have any connections, but.
Let's just set up on the street. Start playing.
Orville.
Yeah. Worcester would be better, I think.
Yeah, probably.
There's actually tons of places in Worcester we could play.
True. And we do have like things that we could send, probably.
Oh, yeah. Between like stuff that we've done over the years.
Yeah.
No doubt.
We've probably gotten a little bit better since then, but.
Probably, yeah. Now that you have all this free time, we should get back into recording.
We honestly should.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
Speaking of recording, I'm seeing Zacho tomorrow. We're having breakfast together.
Shout out to past guest.
Yeah, past guest Zacho. Go listen to that episode. It was a great one. But he's going to be, ironically, up in Akron tonight to watch his friend in a band perform. And then on his way back down tomorrow, we're going to meet up in Worcester and get breakfast together.
Nice.
Because he is working on an album. I'm going to be recording it for him.
Nice.
He's going to be coming back up here to record. So I'll probably have you in on some of those sessions.
I was going to say, I would love to even just like hang out.
Oh, yeah, totally. You're good hangs. You know, studio etiquette.
Right. Just don't say anything while we're recording.
Yeah.
Sneeze. Sorry.
But I'm stoked to see him because I haven't seen him since we podcasted. Yeah. We've talked on the phone a few times, and I edit his podcast for him, which he should be coming up on season 2 at some point here. So be on the lookout for that. Biggest Fan of Your Life podcast with Zach Owen, season 2.
How do you feel about seasons on podcasts?
I think it's good for him because he's like so guest oriented.
Yeah.
Like he has to have time to compile guests and record with them, which is a big hassle because it's not like they're coming to him all the time.
Right.
So I think that's good for him to have breaks. I think, sorry, Zach, we can maybe talk about this at breakfast tomorrow. But I think this has been too long of a break. I think you got to be really careful with how much time you take off.
Because he did have a lot of steam there.
Right. And I'm worried about him having to regain traction and momentum.
I was thinking about that, like, because obviously over the summer, like our recording schedule hasn't been super consistent.
Right.
Just with like different things going on.
Right.
Which like usually over the winter, like you're not really.
It's kind of like that too with winter though.
Is it?
Yeah.
I feel like we were pretty consistent this past winter.
Were we?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm remembering different then. I just know, like, especially around Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, over the holidays is different.
Stuff gets really messed up.
But we were discussing a little bit via text last week when we realized we weren't going to be able to record, like,
again,
how to, like, deal with that.
Right.
Because it used to be, we had shorter episodes, and so we would record multiple and kind of have in bank. But now we do. We're coming up on an hour.
Yeah, which I prefer these longer ones.
Yeah, we're able to dive in a little bit more.
Right.
But to do multiple of these is hard in one night.
I'm pretty burnt out after like an hour and a half.
Oh,
like I don't think I could do even a half-hour episode after we do an hour and a half long episode.
Unless we had a guest.
Right, because I just run out of things to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, tweet at us what you think we should do.
Yeah.
How about that?
You know what? If you guys just tweet us questions and stuff, it'd make this whole thing so much easier. We'll answer all your questions. We just have 8-hour long episodes.
Oh, yeah.
We could record a whole 16-hour day. We could sit down, record, bang out a whole bunch of episodes.
That's right.
If we just had questions.
Would get content as a listener.
Oh, yeah.
Forever.
And you'd get a shout out. Your name would get a shout out.
Exactly.
Speaking of shouting, this is a horrible segue, but I wanted to talk about this. I went with my parents and my fiance, Emily. We went and saw Tecumseh in Chillicothe, Ohio, which is a outdoor play like Cowboys and Indians. Tecumseh was the main Indian or Native American in this play. But it was awesome because it's outdoor and there is a lake like on the stage. Like the stage is just like seating that looks down. It's not really a stage, it's just woods, you know? And they have like some structures set up on the sides, like multi-tiered stuff that the actors go up and down. But in the middle, it's just dirt. And then beyond that is a little like man-made pond. And the very first thing that happens is Tecumseh rides a horse like through this pond, and it's deep enough that like the horse has to swim to get across. And that's used all throughout. Like they will like canoe like into the scene,
That's
you know,
cool.
It's really awesome. And they like fire off guns and cannons and stuff. So, and I've seen it once before. When I was 13, I loved it because that was the last time I saw it, because there's guns going off and people fighting and whatnot. But now I'm 24 and I'm kind of seeing the flaws in this production. Like the acting wasn't that great. There were some real misses amongst the actors and actresses, but some were really good. But also another thing is nobody was mic'd. So they're just shouting the whole time. Yeah. And it gets really hard to hear.
Oh, I can't imagine.
And then like after the intermission, like there's an intermission halfway through, and then after the intermission came back, like the little like tree frogs and crickets in the trees were just so loud. Like you could hardly hear anything.
Yeah.
And then they're like blasting off these cannons in the second act. And you're like, I'm deaf now. You're going to have to speak up, sir. Man. But we were talking about it. It'd be so easy to mic that with like the technology now.
Yeah.
And my dad was saying he saw something that this kid is working on developing this thing that's basically like, you know, those things that you see sports people wearing now. It's like a compression thing, but it's just like zigzaggy black tape is what it looks like. Mm-hmm. It's like that, looks like that, but you just put it on your face or your neck and it's a mic and it's wireless. So if they could develop that, it'd have to be waterproof because of the lake there. But if they could somehow implement that, that'd be perfect. Or even there's like a row of shrubbery like between the seats and the stage. Just put spot mics in there.
Anything.
At the very least.
Right. Yeah.
Because it sucks when there's a long scene of dialogue and you're hearing like half of a sentence and you just kind of got to piece together what's happening.
Yeah. But
all in all, it was a great trip. It was like a 3.5 hour drive down there. I love road tripping. Emily loves road tripping. We were just chilling in the back of my dad's Suburban. Stayed in a hotel. Didn't get to swim, which was a bummer. Yeah, but that's all right. Yeah. Are you somebody that if you're at a hotel and there's a pool, and if it's like just you and Allie, if there's other people in there, will you go swimming or no?
Usually not, actually.
Yeah.
Same. If it depends on who's in there.
Right.
If it's like kids,
heck no.
No.
Splashing around.
Yeah. Which we sound so old. But yeah, like we usually try to book hotels that have pools. Like we only book if we can afford it.
Right.
But yeah, if it's a bunch of people, we don't go.
Yeah. I would say at this point in life, it could just be a hot tub and I'd be fine. Mm-hmm. If there's a hot tub, I'm more than likely going to spend more time in the hot tub than I am the pool.
Yeah. We're in September we're going on a weekend trip with our small group to Hocking Hills.
Oh, nice.
We rented a cabin down there. It's got 2 hot tubs.
Oh, that's nice.
It's gonna be sweet. Although for some reason they booked a house with 18 that can sleep 18 people.
How many are in your small group? Like
10.
Oh, man.
So it's a little expensive. And then
we'll have lots of room, though.
Lots of room. And then the week after, we go to the Outer Banks.
Nice.
With my family.
Nice.
So it'll be good to get away.
Nice.
Yep.
When Emily and I were booking, we're going to Pigeon Forge for our honeymoon. When we were booking cabins, we were looking at the different cabins. They have cabins down there that sleep like 50 with indoor pools. But that's great. It's for like retreats and stuff.
Yeah.
But I wish I had the money just to spend like a week on one of those.
Have the whole place to yourself?
The whole place. Mm-hmm. Just a massive log cabin
4
mansion.
Kitchens. Cook my eggs in this kitchen, my steak in the other kitchen. Yeah.
My bacon in the one kitchen away so the smoke doesn't fill the house. But I have to call her and be like, hey, babe, where are you at? Can't find you. I've been looking for 3 hours. Yeah. Wrap this bird up.
Let's wrap it up.
All right. Who's talking? I don't want to talk. You can talk.
Okay, I'll talk.
Let me pull up some Instagram, do some Instagram Live in here.
Wrapping up on Instagram Live. This episode of the podcast, we're at 63 minutes and we're on Instagram Live right now. You'll hear this next week, but we want to make sure you're stay connected with us throughout the week online. You can find us on Twitter at MyFriendPodcast. You can email us at itrustyoupodcast@gmail.com, and Donnie will see it because I don't have the password anymore and no longer see our email.
Oh, I can get that to you.
Okay. You can also find us here on Instagram at MyFriendPodcast, where we mostly just post these things and other random tidbits.
Hey, Zacho's watching. Shout out to Zacho.
Zacho. We talked about you on this podcast episode. You can also find us on Facebook now. Just search You're My Friend and I Trust You podcast on Facebook. You can stay up to date with everything that we're doing. You can find us wherever podcasts are sold, but you don't have to pay for ours. Are you doing a selfie now? Okay, that's what I thought. You can find new episodes every Monday morning-ish. Find us on...
I've been releasing it like 6 in the morning most times.
6 o'clock in the morning.
You can automatically set it to upload.
Well, that's what I do now, like, because I can listen to podcasts at work.
Yeah.
In the morning, during my routine, I will go through and download episodes to my phone.
Nice.
So download us, rate us, subscribe. You'll get it automatically. You can hear us on Back Row Radio. Are we still on Back Row?
Yeah.
We're still on Back Row.
For now, till he kicks us off.
Till we get kicked out of Back Row.
Kicked for not upload or not giving him content or cursing too much. Either one.
So,
hey, Corey's here too. Hey, Corey.
What's up, Corey? Dad. And I think that's about it. Do we want to do a duet?
Oh, totally.
Okay. Nice.
That's how you do it.
Still alive.
Just two dudes having a conversation.